Welcome back to Fiction First. What if the place you once called home, your childhood refuge, was the same place where your darkest memories are buried? And what if, 20 years later, you were forced to return, not for healing, but for answers? Kate Alice Marshall's No One Can Know invites us into a world where secrets fester like wounds left untended, where trauma lives in the walls, and where sisterhood is both salvation and a haunting reminder of everything that's been lost. This psychological thriller grips you not just with its plot twists, but with its chilling emotional truths. In today's review, we're diving deep into the heart of this haunting novel, from its shadowy premise and complex characters to the raw themes of guilt, identity, and generational trauma. If you're a fan of slow-burn suspense, morally grey characters, and stories where the past is never really past. About the author. Kate Alice Marshall is no stranger to the eerie or the emotionally complex. With a background in speculative fiction and young adult thrillers like I Am Still Alive and Rules for Vanishing, she has carved out a distinctive voice that straddles the line between psychological horror and emotional realism. Marshall brings a cinematic quality to her writing, perhaps not surprising, given her past work as a screenwriter. Her prose is tight, atmospheric, and unafraid to linger in discomfort. While her young novels often explore survival and identity, her adult fiction, like What Lies in the Woods and Now, No One Can Know, pushes further into the murky waters of memory, familial bonds, and secrets that refuse to stay buried. With No One Can Know, Marshall steps fully into the adult suspense space, wielding the same psychological precision, but with a deeper emotional gravity and moral complexity. Plot summary. Emma, Juliette, and Daphne are sisters, bound by blood, but separated by trauma. 2 decades ago, their parents were brutally murdered in their family home in Ravenswood, Washington. Emma, just 9 years old, was found at the scene, alone, confused, and covered in blood. She said she didn't remember what happened. The police didn't believe her. The case fell apart, and the sisters were separated. The murder remained unsolved. Now, 20 years later, Emma inherits the very house where her parents were killed. She returns to Ravenswood, ostensibly to renovate and sell the property, but her real reason runs deeper. She's searching for the truth. Juliette, the eldest, is a fiercely pragmatic woman who has always believed she knows what's best for her sisters, even when that means rewriting history. Daphne, the youngest, now a quiet academic, carries her own version of the past, a version she refuses to speak aloud. As the sisters reunite under one creaking roof, old wounds reopen. The house seems to hum with memories, some dreamlike, others nightmarish. Emma begins experiencing vivid flashes of the night of the murder, the sounds, the fear, the overwhelming sense that something, or someone, was watching. When a body is discovered in the woods behind the house, the sisters are pulled into a fresh investigation. But this time, the truth may cost more than just their safety. It may tear apart what little trust remains between them. With each chapter, Marshall tightens the psychological screws, blurring the line between memory and reality, between victim and perpetrator. What really happened that night? Who, or what, is Emma really afraid of? And most importantly, what do her sisters know that she doesn't? Themes and symbols. Memory and the unreliable mind. Emma's unreliable memory becomes the central axis of suspense. Her childlike amnesia isn't just a plot device, it's a metaphor for how the mind protects itself from trauma. But Marshall doesn't let us take easy comfort in this. As Emma begins to recover memories, the reader is forced to reckon with the nature of truth. Is what we remember accurate, or just the version that lets us sleep at night? Sisterhood and conditional loyalty. The dynamic between Emma, Juliette, and Daphne is fraught and fascinating. Their love is undeniable, but so is the resentment. Juliette's overbearing control, Daphne's emotional withdrawal, Emma's need for validation, each trait has roots in their shared trauma. Marshall doesn't offer us a saccharine version of sisterhood. Instead, she explores the complex calculus of family. What are we willing to sacrifice to protect each other? What secrets do we keep not out of love, but out of guilt? repression and survival. All three sisters have repressed different parts of their trauma. For Juliette, it's an obsession with control. For Daphne, it's silence. For Emma, it's the complete erasure of a pivotal moment in her life. Marshall interrogates the survival mechanisms we adopt, not just to cope, but to function. But as the plot unfolds, these coping mechanisms begin to unravel. And when they do, the truth seeps out like water through cracked drywall. The cost of truth. Perhaps the most poignant theme is the moral cost of uncovering the truth. This isn't a whodunit that rewards you with clarity and closure. No one can know, asks, if the truth destroys everything you thought you knew about your family, is it still worth knowing? The house as a symbol. The family home isn't just a setting, it's a character. Creaking floors, hidden corners, and half-forgotten attics become extensions of Emma's subconscious. The house represents the past, unrenovated, unhealed, and heavy with silence. As the sisters try to restore it physically, they are also forced to confront the emotional rot within. The town of Ravenswood. Like the house, the town functions as a kind of extended metaphor. It's a place of secrets and whispers, where people remember the past but prefer not to speak of it. Ravenswood becomes a mirror to the sisters' trauma, outwardly intact but inwardly decaying. Character analysis. Emma is the emotional core of the novel. Her struggle isn't just to remember the past, but to claim ownership of it. As a child, she was passive, caught in the storm of adult violence. As an adult, she's seeking agency. But that journey is riddled with doubt. Is she uncovering the truth, or reconstructing a comforting narrative? Her transformation from victim to active truth seeker is both compelling and tragic. She wants justice, but she also wants peace, two things that may be mutually exclusive. Juliette. Juliette is the eldest, the protector, the one who took on the burden of keeping the family together after the murder. But her control comes at a cost. She manipulates, withholds, and ultimately bends the truth to fit her sense of justice. Her intentions are often noble, but her methods raise moral questions. Is it truly love if it's conditional? Is protection still virtuous if it involves lies? Daphne. Daphne is the quietest, and arguably the most damaged. She retreats into academia and emotional silence, avoiding confrontation. But beneath her reserve lies a deep well of insight. Her silence is its own form of resistance, against Juliette's control, against Emma's obsession with the past. When Daphne finally speaks, it lands with the weight of repressed grief and years of silent observation. The parents, in memory. Though dead, Emma's parents haunt the story. The contrast between the public image of a loving family and the private horror that unfolded at home speaks to the novel's theme of duality. Their presence lingers in the sisters' fragmented memories, loving one moment, terrifying the next. Why you should read No One Can Know. No One Can Know isn't just a thriller, it's a character study. A dissection of family, memory, and the quiet horror of realizing your past may not be what you thought. Kate Alice Marshall delivers a masterclass in psychological suspense, combining emotional depth with page-turning tension. This is a story that doesn't hand you easy answers. It asks you to sit with discomfort, to challenge your assumptions, and to recognize that healing sometimes begins where the truth ends. So, what really happened that night in Ravenswood? And what do you think you'd do if your childhood memories betrayed you? Pick up No One Can Know, and see if you can uncover the truth before the sisters do. Let me know your theories in the comments, and don't forget, the link to grab your copy is in the description below. And if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more deep dives into more fiction, and hit the bell so you never miss a review. Until next time, happy reading.